everybody, and thanks for joining me today. I am going to be talking about a product that we received in our May BoxyCharm subscription, and that is this PUR Sculptor palette. I try not to watch reviews before I do my own reviews, but I did see a few reviews of this, and some people have different thoughts than I have because I've been using this for a few weeks now, and I have some thoughts that are different from other reviews that I've watched. As I usually do my videos, I'm going to talk a very little bit about PUR because I have reviewed a bunch of their products before, and I'll put links to those down below so you can go watch some of my other videos if you're curious more about the company itself. I'm then going to talk a little bit about this product. I am then going to show you some swatches and then me applying it for the look that I have today, not only as a contour but also as an eye look, and then I'll give you my final thoughts at the end. And for all of that, there will be timestamps down below so that you can watch whatever part of the video your little heart desires. So let's talk a little bit about PUR. PUR considers themselves the complexion authority, which is interesting. They do mineral makeup, and they do makeup that is supposed to make you look better in, what do they say? Look better in better looking skin in 2 minutes, I think, and better healthier skin in 2 months. Basically what they're trying to say is it is makeup, the products will make you look beautiful, but at the same time the ingredients that are in here are good for your skin. There is skincare built into it, and therefore the more you use the products, the better it will be for your skin. I do think they really vary widely if you're going to talk about being the complexion authority. Some of their foundation products, for example, you've got like 30 shades in, others you have like 4. So you know, there's a real variety there. I think when they talk about being the complexion authority, they're talking about the kinds of ingredients that they use. They are cruelty-free entirely. They have a lot of products that are vegan. So if you are vegan, you can take a look at that. There are a lot that are paraben-free, talc-free, you know, what else? Some are gluten-free. So if there are special requirements that you're looking for in your makeup, you may want to look to PUR. In talking about this palette itself, this is the PUR Sculptor palette. This is going to set you back $30, and you do get in here 2 contour shades, 2 highlight shades, and a little mirror. The makeup of this, or the ingredients of this, the main ingredient is mica. There is no talc in here, which in a lot of cases means you're getting sort of more pigment, less filler. The shades in here, some people have said they are worried about being deeper shades if you have lighter skin. I'm going to talk a little bit about that as I get into doing the not even tutorial, just demo, because I have found personally, I'll just get this out here now, that for me, this shade right here, using it with a very light touch, has given me the best and most realistic looking contour of any contour product I have tried so far. And that is saying a lot. So I do have some definite thoughts about this. You do get 2 highlight shades. There is micro shimmer in here. So if you don't love that in your highlight, be aware of that. And what else can I tell you about this? I think that's all you really need to know. Try not to make these reviews too long. So let's go into doing some swatches, and then we will get on to doing the demo. So in our highlight shades here, we're starting out with Originator, and then we have Trailblazer. They are incredibly similar. This one has a little bit more of a pink undertone to it, but they both have a bit of micro shimmer in them. And then on the contour shades, you have Inventor and Founder. Definitely a deeper shade with Founder, but I would say that the Inventor shade has a little bit more red undertones to it. So I have my foundation, concealer, and powder on, as well as a little bit of lip product, but nothing else on my face right now, nothing on my cheeks, nothing on my eyes, and I thought this is how we would play around and show you my feelings and thoughts and experience with this PUR Sculptor palette. I have been using this in a number of ways, and I've also used this to go out with the look that I'm going to show you today. So first, in order to do the sculpting of the cheeks, you're going to want a big, fluffy, sort of tapered brush, and I am going to link down below to the tutorial that I watched this on. It was Mariah Leonard. She did a great video about how to do contour and bronzing, and that's where I got this from, which has worked really well for me. So you're going to take your big, fluffy brush and sort of dip all parts of it into the contour. And then she doesn't tap it off, she just sort of waves it off. But basically what you're going to want to do is then take the brush and just lay it right against your cheek, right where you want the shadow to go. And the idea is that it's going to put the most color down where you first touched your cheek. So you don't really want to go in like right in the middle and like spread it all around. You want to really start up here with where the shadow is going to be and then build it from there. So I'm going to take this part of my brush and go right in there and pull it back, and you'll see that it does, you know, quite a shadow there. And then I'm going to just keep using the same side of the brush, so I'm not adding any color. And it's quite dark right now. I am going to tap a bit off of there. And then, you know, keep using that side and blending upwards. You don't want to blend down because that's where it's going to start looking really muddy. And it's actually showing up a lot crazier on camera than it's looking in real life right now. So right now that looks incredibly muddy, but I can go back in with some powder and my powder brush to sort of go over it and tone it down a little bit. So I kind of just keep blending back towards my hairline so that I'm not swirling too much and making it go all over the place. And for me and my face shape, you know, I'm not going to pull it all the way down to here. That's where it starts looking, again, really muddy. And even this is probably a little bit lower than I should have gone, so I'll try to do a better job on the other side. But it gives me a, you know, pretty realistic looking shadow. I've got back in again, and this side's a little harder, just the angle to get at. But again, I sort of lay the brush down and then pull it back and then work it forward from there. And there, that side is more what I was going for. I had a little too much on the brush on the other side. But there, you can see it becomes a very realistic looking shadow, and then I just sort of keep working it forward and pulling up towards the temple. And there, that is what I'm looking for that really nice contour look. And then just with what's left on my brush, I'll go in on my temples just a little bit. I don't really need to contour my forehead a lot. I'm pretty good with that, but just to add a little bit of extra dimension. And so you can see that that is giving me a very realistic, not too like red or orange looking contour. And it does look, I'm hoping it'll show up right on camera because right now in the viewfinder it's looking very stark there, but in real life it's looking very much like a natural shadow. I'm then going to go in with a little bit of blush just before I do my highlight. And you want your blush to stay, you know, above where your contour and bronze is there. And I've been enjoying doing it just a little bit higher on my cheeks lately. And then I'm going to take a fan brush into the top shade here, just tap that in, and then go on my cheeks to add a little bit of highlight there. It's a very pretty highlight. It's a little glittery, but very pretty, and I found that it works very well as a Cupid's bow highlight. It does it in a way that's very natural looking, and for me, doesn't highlight the wrinkles that I'm starting to get on my lips. On my upper lip. Now, all of that is what the palette is made for, the sculpting, highlighting, but this is also really great if you're traveling because it can be a very quick eye look, and I'm just gonna zoom you in a little bit and show you what I do there. So I'm just gonna be using a double-sided Luxie brush here. It's the 249 brush. This was something else we received in a BoxyCharm, I believe. And again, I mean, I could go into either of these shades here, but I'm going to stick with the top one, just on the edge, and I'm going to use that on my lower lash line. Just to give a little bit of smokiness there. And you'll see that I brought that up a little bit. That just kind of gives me an idea of where I want my crease shade to go. There we go, I've got my bottom lash line. I'm just gonna flip over to the fluffier side and go back in again. And you definitely wanna tap off with this. This does get very powdery, but then I can go in and use that as my crease shade. And then also blend just a little bit down onto the lid. It's looking so much more orange and stark on camera than it looks in real life. That might just be my lighting I need to play around with. There we go, and I've kind of just brought that around and swirled it and blended it up a little bit into the crease. And then what I can do is just go in with my finger on one of these highlight shades. I'll use the bottom one here and use that on sort of the inner corner and across the lid for a really pretty gold look. So it's very neutral, but I've used this for looks for going out and it's really pretty. There we go, mascara is on and you can see it's a very natural looking, you know, eyes, natural looking contour, and just giving some really nice definition to my face as opposed to how it looked before I did the contouring and highlighting. So overall, I think there are, as always, some pros and cons to this palette. I find for myself, these shades and these shades are very close to each other. Now this will definitely be better if you have a deeper skin tone, but I find these highlights to be very similar to each other. So I almost think this is the kind of thing where you could have half the price and just have like half the palette, or do this and have like a nice blush in there that is universally flattering. What I do find as well is you've got two very different things happening here. Your dark contour, your light highlighter. Those are the words I'm looking for. But they're both fairly dusty. This is not even as much dust as does kick up off of this. And so they're really things you don't want to mix with each other. You don't want your contour getting into your highlighter and you don't want your highlight getting into your contour. So for me, I'm always like blowing on this to get the dust away so that I'm not picking up the wrong thing when I go in with my brush. I do think that having this all together like this gives you some great versatility for being able to travel with it. It's a nicely designed little palette, and I do think that we need to get away from thinking that if you are a paler person that you need a really pale contour so that you can like go in hard with it and put it on. This is the most realistic looking shadow I've been able to do on myself, most realistic looking contour, and it's because it's a naturally deep shade that I can use very lightly and then build up if I wanted to. So I think it's probably not necessarily what you want to go to as a beginner. You even saw I went a little too hard on one side of my cheek there when putting this look on, but I wouldn't discount this because the shades look very dark if you have a paler skin tone. I think there is playing around with it that you can do, and if you find that the tone of this is something that may work for you when you're having trouble with other things looking too orange, looking too red, looking too gray, then this might be something that you want to look at. I would be very interested to hear your thoughts on this palette. This was sent out, I believe, universally in BoxyCharm. So if you're a BoxyCharm subscriber, you most likely received this. And with all my different subscribers and watchers who all have different skin tones, would just be very curious to know how it worked for you. That is all from me. I do believe if you are not subscribed to me and you are watching this video right now, welcome, and maybe think about subscribing. Click on my face right there. If you are subscribed, you can click on that bell notification. And for everyone watching, you can keep watching and I will put another video up right here. Thanks so much for joining me and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.